Hello, welcome. I am Taylor Bagnick with the Cova Collective Realty team. And if you are looking to find out what the process looks like on purchasing a home in 2023, you have come to the right place. So whether we have already been in contact because you have reached out to myself or the Cova Collective Realty team for help and assistance with moving to the Hampton Roads area, or you stumbled upon this video because you don't know where to begin, welcome. I am happy to help you. So my name is Taylor Bagnick. I am a local realtor in the Hampton Roads area and our Cova Collective Realty team's lead buyer's agent. So I primarily work with buyers in the Hampton Roads area to help them to purchase. So whether you are a first-time home buyer who lives in the area or someone who is PCSing into Hampton Roads because you are going to be stationed at one of our many military bases, I am happy to help you through the process. I myself have PCSed a few times. My husband and I, we have purchased at every duty station. So we are up to 5 properties of our own. So if you're a first-time home buyer or if you actively invest, I'm happy to help you through the process. So today I am going to talk to you about the 10 steps that it takes for purchasing a home. So I'm going to take you through what the process looks like from start to finish. Whether you've purchased before, this will be a good refresher, or if it's your first time, you don't know what you don't know. So I'm going to take you through step by step and explain what exactly you should know prior to going out shopping. So we're going to jump into it. Your first step is choosing your realtor. So, hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Taylor Bagnick. I went over that I have helped about 150 families to date with helping them to purchase in the Hampton Roads area. So first-time home buyers, investors, military families like myself. So no one knows the PCSing process better than someone who has lived through it themselves. So I offer in-person tours, video tours. I have a whole team with me. So Cova Collective Realty team, I will be your primary point of contact, but I also work with a team member as well, my partner agent, which is what sets us apart from a lot of other real estate agents. We work as a team. So if I'm in a meeting like this where I'm discussing with you what the home buying process looks like, or I'm out at showings and a property hits the market that fits your needs, you are getting 2 for the price of 1. So we are able to divide and conquer to make sure that you get out to see properties as quickly as possible. So would love to help and assist you through the process. And if you stumbled upon this video and you're not moving to Hampton Roads, but you're moving to another state, we can connect you with agents all across the country. So we would love to be your first stop. So I will leave my email and phone number. So if you are in need of real estate help or assistance or just don't know where to begin, feel free to reach out to me first and I can point you in the right direction. So step 1 is finding your realtor so that they can walk you through the process from start to finish. Step number 2 is going to be connecting with a lender. So your realtor and your lender, they work hand in hand throughout the process. So we have plenty of local lenders that we work with that are phenomenal, that we can get you in contact with. For your lender, you are going to be looking for somebody who you are going to be able to reach outside of normal business hours, because real estate is not your typical 9 to 5. Typically, we're looking at properties after 5 once you get off work or on the weekends when you're off. And if we do not have the lender's direct point of contact, it can actually hurt when we're trying to write offers or you want to run the numbers with your lender. So we have some great local lender recommendations for you. The lender is the money man, so he is going to be the one who can suggest if you are going to be using a VA loan, FHA, conventional. I'll do a separate video if you have questions on loan types, but the lender and I work hand in hand throughout the process. Me as your realtor, I am going to be assisting you with home tours and negotiations. Your lender is going to be handling the money side of things. So we want to make sure that you feel comfortable with your monthly payment. So we want them to run the numbers on that. And we also want to make sure you know what your interest rate is. So working alongside a realtor and a lender that are communicating makes the process a whole lot smoother. Step number 3, this is going to be your upfront fees. So getting connected with a realtor does not cost you anything. Getting pre-approved with a lender does not cost you anything. But once we go out shopping, find a property that you love, and we write an offer on that home, if our offer gets accepted, this is what to expect for upfront fees. So first would be your earnest money deposit. So this is your good faith deposit. So think of it like a security deposit for a rental. As long as everything goes to plan, you get that security deposit back whenever your lease expires. Similar here, earnest money deposits range from starting at $1,000 all the way up. So typically we say $1,000 for every $100,000 that you're going to spend. So that earnest money deposit is due within 2 business days of our offer being accepted. As long as we meet all of our deadlines, that money will get returned back to you at the closing table in form of closing cost. So that money will get wrapped into your closing cost, and that's when you would see the earnest money deposit. The only time that the seller could come after those funds is if we are to be in breach of the contract. So it's our job as your realtor to make sure that you know every step of the way when that earnest money deposit will be up for grabs and when your contingencies are expiring. So speaking of contingencies, one of the biggest contingencies and the one that you're most often going to see in every transaction is going to be your home inspection contingency. So as a buyer, we do recommend getting a home inspection. Here in Virginia, it's typically a 7-day timeline to order the inspection, review the report, and let the sellers know if you want to continue to move forward with your purchase or not. So you pay the home inspector directly. This can range anywhere from $400 to $700, just depending on what you decide to get. So home inspections are closer to that $500 to $600 range. If the home has a pool, you might add on an additional pool inspection. So be prepared for an earnest money deposit as well as the home inspection. So you pay the home inspector directly. You can pay through cash, credit card, check, whatever you prefer. The home inspector goes through every nook and cranny of the property. So they're letting us know the age of the roof, HVAC, hot water heater, making sure you know the true condition of the home before you decide to move forward with the property. This is when we can negotiate with the seller to make any repairs prior to us moving forward, or you give them the thumbs up that you feel comfortable moving forward with the home, or you can release and get your earnest money deposit back as long as you release within that 7-day home inspection contingency window. So these are the 2 main things to account for as far as upfront fees is going to be your earnest money deposit and your home inspection. So these are going to be secondary. So you can get a survey, which surveys can range from $500 to $600 is typically what we're seeing. You don't have to get a survey, but you definitely can get a survey. Just shows you where your property line begins and ends. So if you have a dog and you know that you want to fence in your yard and we find the perfect home that just so happens to not be fenced in, we would recommend getting a survey so you know exactly where those lot lines are. Next up for upfront fees is going to be your appraisal. So this is going to be dependent on the lender. Sometimes the lender will wrap the appraisal cost into your closing cost. cost. Others will have you pay the appraisal fee up front. This is also anywhere from $500 to $600. With most loan types, you are going to have to get an appraisal unless the lender allows you to waive it. But majority of the time, you will get an appraisal so that we can find out what the true market value of the property is that the appraiser is giving the property. And that is going to be the amount that the lender will be able to lend you, is what the appraiser is saying that the property is worth. You also can pay for a reinspection. So if at the time of home inspection, we did negotiate repairs with the seller, you could get a reinspection for about half the cost to make sure that the repairs that we negotiated were done properly. So this is typically about $250, just all depends on how much is being re-inspected, and it's going to be home inspector by home inspector basis on what they charge for a re-inspect. So those two upfront fees that you really want to account for, I guess I should say three, is going to be the earnest money deposit, your home inspection, and appraisal. May or may not be upfront, but you definitely would owe for the appraisal at the time of closing. Survey you don't have to get, but you do have the option to get that survey. And then the reinspection would also be if you chose to get a reinspect as well. So those are the upfront fees. What to expect for cash to close. So this is going to be very dependent on the loan type. So down payment ranges anywhere from 3.5% all the way up to 20%, whatever you discuss with the lender, and each loan type is going to be different as well. So this is where we definitely are going to want to touch base with the lender to get that pre-approval, talk through what loan type you're going to be using and what the down payment amount is going to be so that we can be prepared for what cash you're going to need to close. So for example, I know I work with a lot of military clients who have VA eligibility or that are utilizing the VA loan. If you do use your VA loan, you would not have a down payment, which is super beneficial. With the FHA loan, you could have as low as a 3.5% down, and conventional loans can be anywhere from 5 to 20%. But just knowing that, I know a lot of people think that, oh, if I don't have 20% down, I can't purchase a home. That's not necessarily true. So let's get you connected with a lender so that we know exactly what your down payment amount is going to be. Closing costs, no matter the loan type, are typically going to be about 3 to 4% of the purchase price is what to expect for closing cost. So we are also going to want to connect with the lender so that we can make sure that we have the money for your down payment and your closing cost. Our team, we also have an administrative digital archive fee of $395. This is only collected once we get to the closing table. This is going to be covering all of your documentation. So as you can hear me saying, there is a lot of steps throughout the process. We're gonna save all of that information for you, private and confidential. So if you were to ever need your home inspection report down the line, or if you are to need your settlement statement for tax purposes next year, we have you covered. So that is going to be your upfront fees. Step number 4, setting expectations. So I am sure that you have been excited. You've been looking on Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, all of the third-party sites, which is totally fine. They are great resources, but myself as your realtor, I am going to get you set up on what is called the MLS. So it's the multiple listing service. It's what all Virginia real estate agents use. So by using the MLS, you are going to get the most up-to-date and accurate information. So as soon as a property hits the market that fits your needs, so say we're looking at a property that is $350,000 in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, that's at least 3-bed, 2-bath, and 1,200 square feet. As soon as that hits the market, you are immediately going to get notified. Where sometimes with Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, they're actually pulling from our MLS. So they can be a little bit outdated. They might not pull from our system for 24 to 48 hours. And at that point, you're at a disadvantage because things are still moving very quickly in the market. So we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date listings that fit your search criteria so that we can get you out to see them as soon as possible. So if you would like to be set up on the MLS, please just send me an email or give me a call. I am happy to get you set up on a search. Step number 5. So once we do find a property that you love and you are ready to write an offer on it, 3 things can happen. They can either accept our offer as is, they could counter our offer with different offer terms, or they could reject our offer completely. So where the rejection typically comes in is if it's a multiple offer situation. So most times the agents are not gonna come back to us and say, hey, this is the highest offer, can anyone beat it? They're typically calling for highest and best. So they're gonna say, hey, put your best foot forward, and whatever offer the sellers are going to net the most, has the most desirable offer terms, that is going to be the one that we are going to start working with. So knowing that working with a realtor is going to help you to put your best foot forward, make those connections with the listing agents so that we know exactly what we need to write in order to make your offer most desirable and win you the deal. So once we do get your offer accepted, that is when we are going to get into step number 6. So 6 is going to be removing contingencies. So our offer is accepted, yay. Now we have about 30 to 45 days until we get to the closing table. So the first week is kind of a whirlwind. There's a lot that's going on within the first week of being under contract. So we're going to be sending you the information to pay your earnest money deposit. If you have a home to sell and you have a home sale contingency, that means you need to sell a home in order to buy this next home. We would have to put what's called a home sale contingency in your contract. So we're gonna want to make sure that we're getting your home under contract that you need to sell in order to take those proceeds and buy this next property. So it's something that we are able to help you with. And similar to wanting to be in constant communication with the lender, if you do have a home to sell and you're working with a different agent in a different state, we definitely want to get connected with them to make sure that the process is as streamlined as possible for you. So just let us know up front if you do have a home to sell so that we can best game plan that home sale contingency. If you do not have a home to sell, your first contingency that we are going to be trying to remove is going to be the home inspection contingency. So we order the home inspection. We are going to attend the home inspection where that home inspector goes through every nook and cranny of the property. Of course, if you can be present for the home inspection, that is always great. It's an awesome opportunity to take any photos, videos, measurements of the property, really have a full 2 hours to soak in the home, figure out where you want to put your furniture while the home inspector is doing their job. And they're letting us know the age of the roof, HVAC, hot water heater. They're looking at the foundation. They're really going to give us a lot of valuable information and insight on the condition of the home. So we let them do their thing while we're taking any photos, videos, measurements. We would love for you to be present for the home inspection, but I know that sometimes with my military clients who are moving into the area, or if you're just relocating to the area, you might not be able to be here for the home inspection, and that's totally okay. We're gonna be there on your behalf, and we are happy to take any of those photos, videos, measurements, and then we're gonna report back to you at the end of the home inspection how everything went, and if there are any issues that we want you to know right off the bat after the home inspection is complete. So after home inspection, we're going to review the report and we can let the sellers know if we're going to move forward as is, if we're going to ask for any repairs, or if we are releasing and getting our earnest money deposit back if the condition of the home is just way too much than what you would feel comfortable moving forward with. So that's what we're going to be able to talk you through as far as the home inspection is concerned. The next contingency would be if the property is in a homeowners association, property owners association, or condo association. So if there is any association with the property that you are under contract on, we would receive the association documents and you would have a 72-hour review period from the time that we receive the documents. So 72 hours to read them inside and out, make sure that there are no rental restrictions if you plan on using this as an investment property down the line. Make sure that you feel comfortable with all of the rules and regulations for the association. So it can be as silly as you have to paint your door every 2 years this specific color red, and you and your spouse are like, we don't like that color red, and that would be the first thing that we changed on the home. If you don't agree with the association rules and standards, within that 72-hour review period, you would have the right to release and get your earnest money deposit back. So that is everything for your contingencies. Anything outside of that contingency window, once those contingencies are removed, if you were to just wake up and decide, wow, we made a horrible mistake, we do not want to move forward, at that point you would be in breach of contract, and that is when the seller could come after that earnest money deposit. But as I had mentioned, as your real estate professional, we're going to let you know every step of the way on when that earnest money deposit would be up for grabs and making sure that we are staying on top of all of those deadlines. Step number 7. So this is where your lender is going to be removing their contingencies. So the lender contingency is going to be that appraisal. So we spoke about that sometimes lenders are going to have you pay the appraiser up front, or they're going to wrap that fee into your closing costs. So it really just depends lender by lender. So we'll know that information ahead of time as well so that you can account for it. But the appraiser is going to go out to the property. They're going to let your lender know what they would consider the true market value of the property so that the lender knows how much they can lend you for the home. So for example, say it is a $300,000 property. If the appraiser goes out and says, yep, this home is worth $300,000, easy day. The lender can lend you $300,000 for that home. If it comes in at $310,000, even better, you now have $10,000 in equity in your pocket. The purchase price stays at $300,000. In the event that it comes in at $290,000, which would be $10,000 under our agreed upon purchase price, it then becomes a negotiation between buyer and seller, where I am going to be pushing for the seller to come down to that appraised value, but it does become a negotiation where we might have to meet them halfway or whatever the case may be. So it is case by case basis depending on where that appraisal comes in, but we will be able to game plan accordingly depending on where that appraisal comes in at. As your real estate professional as well, we are going to be pulling comparables. So recently sold homes in the area prior to writing an offer so that we can give you a good idea ahead of time if the property is priced in line with the current market values, which can give us a good idea of where that appraisal is going to come in at. Number 8. So for 8, this is also going to be some required documents that the lender is going to be asking you for. So tax forms, bank statements, pay stubs, just making sure that you are staying up to date and compliant with the lender and what they are requesting from you. Typically takes about 30 to 45 days to close, which sounds like a lot of time, but it moves very quickly. So we want to make sure that we're providing the lender with all of the documentation that they're needing in order to move your loan along in a timely manner for an on-time closing. So just make sure that you're staying up to date with them and the documents that they're requesting so that you don't experience any delays and we can get you into your home as quickly as possible. Number 9, so homeowners insurance and flood insurance. So for homeowners insurance, you will need homeowners insurance on your property. You're gonna have to provide this to your lender prior to closing. And for homeowners insurance, if flood insurance is required, you would also need to get flood insurance as well. This is going to be a property by property basis. So knowing in our local area, all of Hampton Roads is considered a flood zone, but that does not mean that every property is required to have flood insurance. It's going to be FEMA who dictates that, but myself, as your real estate professional, I will be looking into that for you so that you know ahead of time if flood insurance is going to be required so that we can factor that into your monthly payments. 10 is going to be your title company. So myself as your realtor and your lender, we are going to also be working with a title company. So that is where we are going to be sending all of your documents throughout the process. That is who you will be closing with. So whether you are physically closing with them or if they're setting up a power of attorney for you or a notary closing, the title company is our hub for all of the documents. They're also going to be doing a thorough title search on your behalf. So making sure that there are no liens, judgments, encumbrances, back taxes. We don't want to adopt any of the seller's baggage. We want to make sure that that is all taken care of prior to you taking ownership. So that is going to be the importance of the title company and having a title search. Lastly, the last and final step, number 11, is going to be your final walkthrough and closing. So we are going to go back to the property and we are going to do what is called a final walkthrough. So we want to make sure that all of the appliances are working the same way that they were at the home inspection, that the HVAC is working, the water's getting hot, the microwave, dishwasher, range, all of those things are working appropriately. If we did negotiate repairs at the time of the home inspection, we want to make sure that the repairs were done properly prior to signing on that dotted line, because as soon as you do, you then take ownership of the home. So even if the next day the dishwasher were to break, as soon as you sign, that home is yours and everything in it is now your responsibility. So we want to do a final walkthrough to make sure that everything is working appropriately the way that it was at the home inspection. And once we give the sellers the thumbs up, that is when we can schedule closing. So Virginia is a wet sign state. What that means is once we get to the closing table and you sign off on all of those documents, you get your keys right then and there at the closing table. So if your closing is at 9 a.m., I will hand you your keys, we will take a photo, and you have the rest of the day to move in. So I hope that you found this helpful for knowing exactly what the process looks like from start to finish. I do have a visual of this that I can provide to you. So if we have already been in contact, I have most likely sent this to you via email. And if not, please just let me know. I will leave my email and phone number below so that you can get in contact with me. I can also elaborate more if you have any questions on any of these steps from start to finish. I know that it is a lot of information, but again, that is the importance of working with a realtor so that they can hold your hand through the process and guide you through every step of the way. We will discuss this during your buyer's consultation as well, but figure I might as well let you know now. With working with a buyer's agent, it is at no cost to you. So working with a buyer's agent, we seek our commissions from the seller's side. So it really is no harm in using a buyer's agent to negotiate on your behalf and make sure that you know exactly what the process looks like every step of the way. The only time that this would ever come into question is if we are working with a for sale by owner who is not offering commissions to the buyer's agent, but knock on wood, I have yet to have any issues with negotiating my commissions, even with a for sale by owner. So I hope that you found this helpful. I am happy to help and educate you in any way that I can. Like I said, whether you're a first-time home buyer, you're PCSing to the area, or you're already actively investing, these are things that I help people with every single day. So I would love to get connected with you and see how I can help you with your first or next purchase. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.